Hello again, everybody. Welcome to yet another edition of Transformation, the dynamic duo alongside, that'd be you and me, Kathy and Scott, and we're coming together. That's the name of the program, and the two of us coming together to share with you all of our leadership concepts is one of the things that we share with people all across the country every single day. But here on the podcast, whether you're listening or whether you're watching, matters not. We're talking about different words, and when it comes to leadership up here and coming together, today we're talking about transformation.
Yes.
So when I say transformation, what comes to mind for you?
Well, there's a lot of talk about transformation when it comes to leadership development. And it's our approach in transformation is that it is an internal process. Transformation is necessary in a lot of ways because we get, as humans, we go through life and we have certain experiences, and oftentimes we get stuck. And when we're stuck, that's a sign that we need some part of us needs to be transformed. And so transformation is not something that someone else can inculcate within you. It's an internal process. So, and it's an important one because when it comes to leadership and wanting to elevate your leadership, wanting to go to the next level, which we're all growing and learning. And transformation is a big part of that. And anytime we're looking to change careers, anytime we take a new role, new position, transformation is required because if we take our old self to the new role, perhaps that's not optimal. Most of the time, it's not the case. So we need to transform into our next version of ourselves.
So how do we do that, though? Because a lot of people don't have the, I don't want to say don't believe in themselves, but the believability to move forward in a positive, productive way.
It's difficult to do on your own. That's why mentoring and coaching is so important through a process like this, because we have so many blind spots. We don't know what it is, what part of ourselves needs to elevate.
Before you get to that, what does someone do if they find themselves in that scenario and all those blind spots? How do I overtake those? How do I resolve them and resolve them and move forward?
Exactly. And
who do you reach out to?
Every leader, in my opinion, and I've practiced this my entire life, my entire adult life, beginning with my own mother who gifted me a coaching program right out of college.
Now, wasn't she a teacher?
She's an educator. Okay. Yes, she's an educator, and so she had taken a coaching program, and she loved it so much because she saw that how much she collapsed time and learned about so many different things that she didn't know about, even though she has 2 master's degrees, a PhD, and has been an educator in several different lanes. So she values growth and learning and such. So she gifted me this wonderful, it was such a blessing. And so I wholeheartedly believe that any leader that does not have a coach or a mentor is really missing out on a big component of growth and development and being the best leader they can be. So the transformation process really needs to be done with a person that you trust, that you get along with, and that you really like, So we like to begin with a deep internal, it's an internal process of investigating all the things that we haven't completed with about our past, about any situations that have occurred any time to this present moment. Are we upset or angry about something? Do we hold resentment? Are we upset with ourselves? Or do we feel like we missed out on it? Anything that's kind of holding us back or anything that triggers us. Anything that triggers us is a signal that we need to do our inner work and complete with our past. So I think that part of transformation, the very first stop, is completing that process, because if you don't, then you're constantly getting triggered, and you want to, you want to create boundaries.
Yeah, it's going to continue to be an issue, isn't it?
It's going to be a separator. Not that boundaries aren't important. Boundaries are important, but not everything. You don't need to be in your own bubble. Too many boundaries leaves you very secluded and in your own bubble, and it's not always healthy.
Do you have a story that you might share with us that you had to endure, whether it was a year ago or whether it was when you were in high school or college or just out of school, in trying to get yourself focused on who you were, what you were all about, and how you could move forward as as a worker in whatever business or opportunity you had?
Yeah, personally, the big one was when I went through a divorce. I had a lot of trauma and a lot of upset around that situation. Of course, no one wants to experience that. And I had a lot of inner work to do.
Did you have a family at the time as well as your husband?
Oh, yeah. I had my 2 kids. And,
Okay.
of course, I have a wonderfully close family. And they're very supportive, especially my mother and my father, very close to them. And I'm blessed to still have them with us. And so I had to go through major transformation and inner work to complete with that, because that was a very hurtful process. It was a painful process. It was not something I was looking forward to. So yeah, I mean, that in itself. And throughout my life, there's been many, many scenarios, both personally and also the clients that I have coached.
Did you look out for support getting back to the divorce? Did you look out
yeah,
for? Did you find a longtime girlfriend or some a physician or a doctor or maybe a psychologist, or what did you do? A marriage counselor?
Well, when we were married, we had counseling. Yes, yes, we had. We went through therapy, but when that did not pan out, the person I went to was my mentor, my coach. So and I also, of course, the love and nurturing of my family and all of that. But my coach was the one that would set things into perspective for me.
And what did he share with you? She share?
Yeah, she pointed out things that I wasn't looking at, things that I wasn't grateful for, things that I had to look forward to. So she really gave me a sense of hope and understanding that on the other side of it, there's delight. On the other side of it is really a beautiful life that's waiting for me, and I stepped into it.
And how has it helped you since the divorce as you've moved forward? Have you remembered what you learned there and put it into
going through
effect
that,
now in your life?
Forgiveness was a massive part of it. Forgiving myself, forgiving my former spouse, forgiving all the situations, circumstances, people, encounters, and such. Forgiveness was a massive part of it. And it wasn't, some things weren't easy to forgive, but I did it. I did it successfully with an open heart, lovingly, realizing that no one is perfect. Everyone makes mistakes, including me.
And your 2 children, that was their dad. So what was the relationship there with your 2 children?
With me, my children and I have always been close. So it was hard on them. It was not easy for them, just as any children, no matter what the age. I think kids can be 4 or 5 years old, or they could be in their 30s. When parents go through a divorce, it's very difficult for them. So obviously, there was a lot of work that we had to do. They went through their inner work as well. Facilitated, etc. So it was good. I mean, it was good that we came out of it in a positive way, the best that we could.
And now years later, it was a great learning experience for them. You hated to be a part of it and endure it, but it has helped them and educate them as to whatever.
Exactly. And I told them, I said, parents are here to teach you things, and sometimes you pay attention to things that you shouldn't do that your parents did, And so, and they understand that. They understand that their parents aren't perfect. We're people, we'll make mistakes. They're very, I'm blessed with children who are incredible. They're amazing, amazing, very mature, because they grew up with the same virtues that we teach, and so they're very introspective, they're very thoughtful, they're very analytical, and intelligent and heart-centered. Most of all, they're very empathetic and compassionate. They understand, they forgive, the situation. So I think that process is really important about how we deal with our past, what kind of how do we view it? What is our perception of what happened, and what are the possibilities of the future? So, and then understanding our own perception, our own belief system, examining them. What limiting beliefs am I holding on to? What am I thinking that is not serving me? So these are all part of transformation, because when we view our beliefs, and a lot of times we don't realize that these beliefs are limiting. We don't. We just kind of hold them as truth, different truths, but they're not. They're just our beliefs. And separating beliefs from truths is a very important process, and that's part of the process that we've created for transformation for leaders. And also understanding our identity. We identify, like when I was married, I was a married person, and now I'm a single person. So that's an identity that you kind of, mold into, and you have to be careful understand that those are all false. It's not the truth of who you are. The truth of who I am is loving, compassionate, forgiving to myself and others, understanding that I'm not perfect, being humble in realizing that every day I make a mistake. And every day, everybody else we encounter makes mistakes. And so I think that having a disposition of being humble about who you are and your shortcomings as well as your strengths gives us opportunity to grow. So we want to make sure we really examine what have we identified ourselves with, and not to really get too entrapped by I'm a liberal, I'm a conservative, I hold this political view, that political view, because that just kind of puts us in a box. Whereas we're all human beings, and everybody has their view, and everybody's view is important and valid, but not to really be solid in terms of concrete in our belief system. And holding it as the absolute truth. And then also ego. Ego is another big part of transformation. I think that, and ego is not evil. Ego is not horrible. Ego is why we're alive. It's our survival instinct. And it's good as long as we have a healthy, positive relationship with our ego. So part of transformation is to build a sense of a healthy relationship with our ego, and understanding that you're in the passenger seat protecting me when you need to, but I'm in charge. The truth of who I am, my loving self is in charge. I'm open-hearted. So anyway. So ego is another component of transformation, and I think dialing in our virtues, which is what we've been talking about, virtues as our building blocks of our as who we are. Virtues are all of our positive character points and all of our positive elevated emotions. Mm-hmm. So identifying those, I think that a good couple of handfuls of virtues are a healthy part of our daily contemplation and realization about ourselves. And that kind of gives us a compass, our North Star, what we're aspiring to. Am I a grateful person? Absolutely. I practice gratitude all the time. I think that, it's really important to be thankful and grateful for people in our lives, for everything that we have that's positive in our lives and our world. And if we look at our world, we see there's a lot of positive things in the world. There's so many people doing so many wonderful things, and noticing that is beautiful to see. You have a different outlook on life. Yeah, is our world perfect? No. But there's also beauty. There's so much grace. People, giving each other mercy, or living the life of kindness, and all of that. So dialing in our virtues is really important, and then realizing what is the purpose and meaning in my life. Why am I here? What is my contribution to the world? So those are all part of transformation. Mm-hmm. I think that once you have all of those things, then you can really set a vision and goals for every area of your life. We have our personal relationships, our relationships with God, our relation, or whatever your spiritual beliefs are, and community, your vocation, and all this other stuff that comes along with it. Playfulness. Don't forget playfulness. Having fun, making things fun. Makes life a lot more enjoyable.
That's right, like being a co-host on a program like this, right?
Exactly.
Transformation, coming together. Guess what? We've run out of time, so we've got to simply say goodbye to all those folks. But first of all, most importantly, remember what Kathy had to say about transformation. Look it up in the dictionary. Look it up in the thesaurus. See what it says, and then put it to good work in your life and make a difference so things can suddenly be positive and moving forward in that productive way. Correct?
Yeah, and what does it mean to you? It's good to look up the meaning of words and to
but then put it into action.
That's what gives
put it
rise.
into play.
What gives rise to action, acting on it, is really internalizing it and seeing what it means to you, because your interpretation is just as important as any.
That's right.
So
and transform your life. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
All right.
So transformation is an important part of leadership.
Yep, absolutely. So on behalf of Kathy, I'm Scott. Till next time on
Coming Together.
You got it. Coming together. Indeed we are. All of us. Thanks. Till next time. Stay safe and be well.